The broken toy and a child's wisdom. The sun rose gently over the snow-capped mountains of the small village of Nurabad, casting a golden hue over its narrow cobblestone streets and modest wooden homes. The village was quiet except for the chirping of sparrows and the distant sound of rushing water from the nearby stream. Sammy, an 8-year-old boy with an infectious smile and an adventurous spirit, lived with his mother in a tiny cottage on the edge of the village. Sammy's most prized possession was a wooden horse. This was no ordinary toy. It had been handcrafted by his late grandfather, a carpenter known for his skill and kindness. The horse had been gifted to Sammy on his 5th birthday, and ever since, it had been his constant companion. Its wooden surface was worn smooth from countless hours of play, and its once bright paint had faded, but Sammy loved it more than anything. One frosty morning, Sammy decided to take his beloved horse to show his friends. Wrapping a scarf around his neck, he ran down the cobblestone path toward the village square, the horse clutched tightly in his hands. As he sprinted, his laughter echoed through the streets, waking the village from its slumber. But in his haste, Sammy failed to notice a loose stone in the path. His foot caught on it, and he tumbled forward. Time seemed to slow as the wooden horse flew from his grasp, landing with a sharp, heart-wrenching crack. Sammy scrambled to his knees, his heart pounding, and picked up the toy. Its front leg had snapped off, leaving a jagged edge. Tears welled up in Sammy's eyes. He held the broken toy close to his chest, as if his embrace could mend it. Soon, his friends gathered around, offering their condolences. "Maybe someone can fix it," one of them suggested. Sammy shook his head, despair clouding his face. "It will never be the same." As Sammy sat on the ground cradling his broken horse, an elderly man approached. It was Baba Yusuf, the village's toymaker. His silver beard glistened in the morning sunlight, and his kind eyes twinkled behind thick spectacles. He had been watching from the doorway of his small shop, drawn by the commotion. "What's the matter, young one?" Baba Yusuf asked, kneeling beside Sammy. Sammy hesitated before holding out the broken toy. "It's ruined," he said, his voice trembling. "This was my grandfather's gift, and now it's gone forever." Baba Yusuf examined the horse carefully, turning it over in his hands. He said thoughtfully. "This is a fine piece of work. Your grandfather must have been a talented man." Sammy nodded. "He was the best." "Well, my boy," Baba Yusuf said with a smile, "I believe this horse still has life in it. Come to my shop, and let's see what we can do." Reluctantly, Sammy followed Baba Yusuf into his shop. The space was magical, filled with wooden toys of every shape and size, spinning tops, rocking horses, miniature trains, and intricately carved dolls. The air smelled of sawdust and varnish, and sunlight streamed through the windows, illuminating tiny specks of dust dancing in the air. Baba Yusuf cleared a space on his workbench and placed the broken horse there. He pulled out a toolbox filled with chisels, hammers, and paintbrushes. "This will take time," he said, "but I promise you it will be worth it." Sammy watched intently as the toymaker began his work. First, he sanded the rough edges of the broken leg, making them smooth. Then he carefully carved a new leg from a block of wood, shaping it to match the original. Baba Yusuf explained every step to Sammy, his voice calm and patient. "Do you see, Sammy? Sometimes, when something breaks, it's not the end. It's just a chance to make it even better." As the hours passed, Baba Yusuf didn't just repair the horse, he transformed it. He carved intricate patterns of flowers and vines into its body, adding details that hadn't been there before. He painted it with vibrant colors, using a steady hand to bring the horse to life. When Baba Yusuf finally handed the horse back to Sammy, the boy was speechless. The toy was stunning, more beautiful than he could have imagined. The new leg blended seamlessly with the original, and the carvings made it look like a work of art. It's perfect," Sammy whispered, his eyes wide with wonder. Baba Yusuf chuckled. "It's better than perfect, Sammy. It's a story now. It tells of how things can break but still become something extraordinary. Sammy hugged the horse tightly, a smile spreading across his face. Thank you, Baba Youssef. I'll never forget this. Over the following weeks, Sammy began to see the world differently. Whenever he saw someone in need, he thought of Baba Youssef's words. When something breaks, it's a chance to make it better. He started helping his neighbors, fixing fences, carrying heavy loads, and sharing whatever little he had. Word of Sammy's kindness spread, and soon, the entire village seemed to follow his example. People who had been strangers began helping one another, and the village grew closer as a community point. One day, a wealthy traveler passing through the village saw Sammy's repaired toy and was so impressed that he ordered several toys from Baba Youssef. The toymaker's shop became famous, and his work was sought after far and wide. Years later, Sammy grew up to become a teacher. He carried the wooden horse with him wherever he went, using it to teach his students an important lesson. This toy reminds me, he would say, that no matter how broken something seems, there is always hope. With love, patience, and effort, we can mend anything, even ourselves. Sammy's story became a legend in the village, passed down through generations. And though Baba Youssef had long since passed away, his wisdom lived on, reminding everyone that life's most valuable lessons often come from the simplest places.